Hi, hello everybody. Today is your first day of HBL and we are working on time practice 1. Okay, the one that looks like this. Okay, so you're working on time practice 1 today. Check it's the 1NA paper. Okay, so today what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the passage to make sure you understand the passage before you attempt the questions. Okay, so let's look at the passage. This is take note now, we are working on section A. And this passage of about 4 paragraphs is a very interesting passage. About a story between Sam and Dot. Sam and Dot are a boy and a girl, and they are twins. So this passage kind of tells you how they interact and whether they do get along or not. Okay, so take note, this is a video. So let's say when you want to copy down the meaning of the words, right? You can pause the video and take down so that you can control your own pace. Please feel free to use the video to your advantage. Okay, so I'm going to go through the passage very quickly before you start working on question 1 to 4 today. Okay, you just need to do question 1 to 4, then scan and submit it through the link that I provided in the HBL schedule. Okay, so let's start. The two characters, Sam and Dot. So Sam always had the knack of breaking his own toys. When we say someone has a knack, right, we are talking about them being especially good at something, and usually it's for good things. But in this case, Sam being a child, he is very good at breaking his own toys. Okay, so you can imagine how clumsy or how aggressive he plays his toys with, and often other people's. So he breaks his own toys and other people's toys, and in this case, you read the entire story, he will break his twin sister's toy. Okay, but accidents will happen, and his twin sister and longtime supporter Dot, her brother was a pain in the neck. And when we say someone is a pain in the neck, we are talking about someone being very irritating. So the twin sister Dot was resolute, and resolute here we are talking about she's a very determined person and devotedly unselfish. So she is foolish, devotedly in this case is foolish. That means she believes the brother and just lets him do what he wants. And unselfish because she shares her toys with him. And when Sam sculpted her new toy, okay, sculpt here, I didn't write down the meaning because you know, like toys, right? Especially like dolls, like Barbie dolls, they have hair. And when you say you sculpt someone, is to remove the hair. So in this case, right, basically he took off the hair of her new doll and fastened the glossy black curls, so the black curls are the hair, to a wingman. Wingman is a toy hut, you know, like those toy tent that you have when you were younger, if you had. Okay, so he took off the hair off the door and put the hair to a hut or a tent, improvised with the curtains of the four-post bed in the best bedroom. And Dot, upon seeing this, she was sorely tried. That means the brother is really testing her patience. As her eyes passed from the crownless doll on the floor, so she looked at her doll. Crownless means the doll is without the hair, to the floss silk ringlets hanging from the bed furniture. So floss silk here is the hair, describing the hair. Probably the hair is curled, that's why it's ringlets. Hanging from the bed furniture, her round rosy face grew rounder, because when you get angry, right, your face tends to puff up. And rosier, in this case, it's turning red from anger. It's not in a sense. Usually, when we say someone is rosy, we are complimenting the person's complexion, very healthy, very red. But in this case, right, because she's getting angrier and angrier, the brother spoiled her doll, took the hair and put it on some tent. That she got angrier and angrier. Therefore, the description is her round rosy face grew rounder and rosier, and tears burst from her eyes, so she couldn't take it anymore. In a moment more, she clenched her little fist, forced back the tears, and gave vent to her favorite saying, "I don't care." So what she did was she basically just let out, said, "I don't care," but basically she cares, like she's very angry. So that's the first paragraph. Okay, then let's look at the second paragraph. There are, however, as we have said, limits to everything. So recall in the first paragraph, they say that she's foolishly unselfish. So she still trusted her brother and lent her toys to her brother. Okay, however, second paragraph is saying that there are limits to everything. So the brother must have done something to go past the limit. An earthquake celebrated with everything in the toy cupboard is unacceptable. Okay, this one you actually would not know the meaning now. But what happens is the next few paragraphs actually tells you about the story of how the brother spoiled all her toys. And it's with everything she has, everything in the toy cupboard. Therefore, she couldn't accept it. Okay, so third paragraph. It happened like this. Early one morning, Sam announced that he had a glorious project, probably announced to Dot. He was going to give a grand show and he refused to confide his plans to Dot. So confide here, we are talking about sharing and discussing his plans to Dot. So basically he wants to borrow her toys but don't tell her what's happening. But he begged her to lend him all the toys she possessed. And in return, she was to be the sole spectator of the fun. Okay, sole spectator here is she's going to be the only one who gets to watch. So it's like the brother is trying to tell the sister that, hey, lend me all your toys, and in return, right, I'll let you be my spectator. And no one else gets to watch this show except you. So Dot gave them in terms of the toys with a doubtful mind. So she doesn't trust the brother totally. And she consoled herself as she watched Sam carrying various equipment into the back nursery. Nursery is a room where children play, and in a house usually there's a nursery where all the toys are. And with the prospect of the show, prospect here means future possibility. So she's thinking, oh my god, I have to lend my brother all the toys. But she's saying maybe it's going to be a good show. Okay, so thinking about the prospect of the show, so at last, Sam threw open the door and ushered her into the nursery rocking chair. So she went in and there's a rocking chair, she sat on it. So he kind of like ushered is in a sense, bring her in and asked her to sit on the chair. Okay, so paragraph 4. Here, ladies and gentlemen, said Sam, waving his hand politely towards the rocking chair. So what Sam is doing, he's doing make-believe. He's playing like, he's acting like he's a presenter. And his audience is Dot, his sister. So here, ladies and gentlemen, you see the great city of Lisbon. Lisbon is an actual place, capital of Portugal, as it appeared on the morning of November 1st, 1755. So he's talking about the past. In this house, a party of Portuguese ladies may be seen taking tea together. So when he say in this house, he probably meant the dollhouse that Dorothy has. Here you see the horses of the English ambassador out with his groom. And at this moment, a rumbling sound startles everyone in the city. So it's a bit like, remember your storytelling? I told you your actions have to go with your story. So here, what Sam doing is a storytelling session. So when he says, right, a rumbling sound startles everyone in the city, what he did was, this is his action. He rolled some croquet balls up and down in a box, so it makes a rumbling sound. So he's doing some sound effect for his story. Okay, so this is a bit like your storytelling where you act it out and you have actions and you have sound effects. But the doll sat as quiet as before and Dot alone was startled. Startled here is shocked, okay, because the rumbling effect kind of scared her. And the dolls were not affected. In fact, he was saying, right, the rumbling sound startles everyone at city, but here the dolls are not affected. In fact, Dot, the audience, was affected. Then the brother continued. This was followed by a slight shock. So he said shock, right? So his action must go with the word. So he shook the table, which upset some of the buildings belonging to the German farm. So Dot probably has some toy houses that he put by the side, and some houses fell. Okay, and this is when Dot began to look anxious because what the brother is doing right in front of her is seemingly destroying all her toys. So she began to look anxious. She's worried. Anxious is worried over here. This shock was followed by several others, the brother was saying. So at this point, she couldn't take it anymore. So she yelled out, "Take care!" She begged the brother. Then the brother went on, "Of increasing strength." Then this is when Dorothy came in and, "Oh, Sam!" So she shrieked, she shouted, and she jumped because she could feel the brother is going to destroy all her toys. She said, "You are breaking the china." The china is a type of porcelain. It's a type of material that used to make toys. So the largest building, so this is the brother continuing to talk, the largest buildings shook to their foundations. And this is when Dorothy came in. "Sam, Sam, the dollhouse is falling," Dot cried, making wild efforts to save it, but Sam held her back with one arm. Can you imagine how chaotic this situation is? So he's shaking the table where he put all the toys to show maybe an earthquake or a rumbling action. Then here, Dot is very worried for her toys. She's trying to stop him from doing it. But because she's a girl and Sam's a boy, right? So Sam held her back with one arm, so he probably hold her and don't let her come near. And with the others, he began to pull at the boards which form his table. And when you pull, what happens? The things will drop. So he said, suddenly the ground split and opened with a fearful yawn. And at this point in time, Dot was already very angry. So she was shrieking, she was yelling. And her yell was so loud and so emotional that they are trying to say, this is a figurative speech, shamed the impassive dolls because the dolls were quiet. The dolls were not making any noise because they're not alive. Okay, so when we say impassive, it's basically no emotion and calm. So in contrast to the doll, Dorothy, Dot, who's a human being, watching the brother destroying her toys, she became angry and she started shouting. And this is as Sam jerked out the boards by a dexterous movement. Okay, dexterous here we are talking about skillful. Okay, and everything, the doll's house, the farm, the Swiss cottages, and the whole inventory of the nursery sank together in ruins. So basically, you can imagine, he put them on boards, then he pulled the boards apart, and the toys all fell into between the boards. He's trying to show and act out an earthquake, but this is done with Dot's toys. And at the end, he was quite unabashed. Unabashed here means no shame. He doesn't feel sorry, when he destroyed all her things. He's quite unabashed by the damage, and Sam continued saying this. And in a moment, the whole magnificent city of Lisbon was swallowed up. Okay, and basically all the toys fell in between the boards, and Dot's toys were probably spoiled or damaged. Okay, so this is our passage. I hope you can go back and really pause the video and take down the meaning of the words or take notes of what I'm saying, because some of the words here, they don't express their literal meaning. They are figurative, they are metaphors. And I hope that this paragraph 4 here is not confusing for you, because it's in between Sam and Dot, what they're talking about. Just think back to your storytelling, your actions, how your actions have to come in to suit your story that you are saying, and your dialogues. Okay, so this is a very good representation of that storytelling experience that you have. Okay, and with that, I hope you understand this passage a little better and move on to complete question 1 to 4. Just 1 to 4 for today. Scan it and upload it to the link on HBL schedule, and I will mark. Okay, then tomorrow you will do the rest of the questions. Okay, so thank you 17. I'll see you soon for the Zoom lesson. Bye bye.